La maudite Davy Show.
I have seen the dark shadows moving in the woods, and I have no doubt that whatever I have resurrected through this book is sure to come calling for me.
David, you look absolutely terrific, honestly. You've got like glue on.
This is where the worst begins. This is where we must stop. For beyond is the work of madness. The nightmare of insane murder and lingering death. Get inside and lock your doors. Close your windows.
Someone is watching you. Someone is waiting for you. Someone wants to scare you to death.
This is Albert from the Tuesday Show. You're listening to the goddamn Dave Hill Show, now on a flipping Monday.
You're an angel witch. Am I muted?
You're on it.
I'm on it. Hello. Oh, there it is. There's the sassy background music. I felt nude without it. Nude. De nuda. Hello and welcome to the Dave Hill Goodtime Hour, or just Dave Hill Goodtime Hour for those of you with on-the-go lifestyles who don't have time for that. Hi, how are you? I'm adequate. Thanks so much for asking. How are you doing, boy criminal, Chris Gersbeck?
I'm doing great.
You look great. I can't help but notice, well, you showed me earlier, you have a Twilight Zone marathon shirt on.
Yes.
What does that mean? There was a marathon of the show that you watched?
Yeah. Well, not me personally, but yeah, actually I did. This is 1997. WPIX was the Channel 11 local station in New York City, and every year on New Year's Day they would show the Twilight Zone just for 24 hours. So it's like a T-shirt
commemorating this.
Yeah.
You participated. Did you have to save up?
Man, oh man, for this shirt, yeah. How do you get this shirt?
Oh, I mean, discountcemetery.com. They're awesome. They have all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Good. How are you doing, New Jersey chicken rancher Dez?
Doing all right. Had a wisdom tooth taken out the other day.
You did?
My final wisdom tooth, yeah.
No way. Why? Yeah. I mean, why not?
It was coming in sideways. Well, it'd come all the way in. It was fully breached or whatever. And so it was starting to push up on the rear tooth, so it had to go.
Was it causing you great pain?
Not at all. No, it was complete. As I was going into it, I said, this is the stupidest waste of time I've ever had, because it wasn't bothering me at all. But it's fascinating that he just drilled into it in 2 points, and then he had a hook and he started working that thing like a nail, coming out of a board,
Yeah.
That sounds unpleasant. Am I wrong? Or did
I was on the gas, and the Novocaine and a cup of coffee. So,
I
had all 4 taken out in one sitting, and that's exactly what I remember, was just not being able to feel anything, but the dentist just tugging, gnawing at my jaw.
Yanking.
Horror story. This wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So, but I got a couple stitches in there now that are still kind of annoying. It's like having a little piece of bread or something at the end of a meal stuck back there. It's.
Ooh.
Did you have to do the tea bag thing?
What kind of dentist do you go to?
Oh wait, yeah, whoa, yeah. What is Chris? If you need to talk,
when the dentist puts his balls into your mouth to stop the bleeding.
Chris,
this is a show of subtlety.
I did have a strange time at the dentist, but it wasn't quite like that. But it's funny. The hygienist, she gave me a lot of her personal information about the last year that she's had. Her husband passed away, and there's been various other things. She was just full of information. Do you ever have anything weird like that where you're in it, you can't get away? I was the patient there. Maybe you're on a plane.
Oh yeah. My current dentist is the best dentist. He plays pretty much Deep Purple all the time when I'm there. He just cranks just stone cold classic rock jams, pretty loud, a surprisingly loud,
his rock and roll vibe.
Yeah, but it's just it seems like he likes to rock out. He's not trying to go. He's just this is what I'm listening to, and this is my office.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased with it, and I have a great time there. It's right by my apartment. It's right off Washington Square, so I can actually look into Washington Square.
Nice.
While I'm getting horrible things done. But one time when I went there, this one hygienist who I had only seen there one time, she was cleaning my teeth, and she had fully decked out, a mask on, a visor, was totally. And at one point, it started off during the she like having you do the questionnaire or whatever, and she said, like what she's like reading what medications I'm on. She's like, what, Prozac, what's that? I was like, oh, it's an antidepressant. And she said, yeah, these are tough times, huh? It was just like, what kind of response is that? Like, how little of an understanding of many things do you have to have that be where you're taking the conversation? But
Silence can get awkward there, yeah, for sure.
And then she's like, so at one point she's cleaning my teeth and some, spit or whatever, God knows what, flew out of my mouth. And she just jumped back and said, okay, we've exchanged fluids. Do you have HIV?
Oh, Jesus.
And I was just like, what? Like, not that I wasn't offended that she thought I had it. It was just this. The circumstances were not. We didn't exchange fluids. Like, it was just like a little bit of water or something came out of my mouth, and like she's wearing a visor. Like, no, she's not exposed in any way. And
she felt the spritz.
Even if I had gushed blood, that's not how it's transmitted.
Yeah.
So I thought, this woman is just very strange to me. I didn't say anything to the dentist.
Yeah.
I played it cool because I actually found all of it very entertaining.
So did I. Like I said, I was on the gas, so she was probably thinking that I wouldn't remember much of what she was talking about anyway. But I got her whole life story, tip to tail.
Oh, wow.
I know everything about her at this point, pretty much. It was kind of awkward.
I got my wisdom teeth out. My sister got her wisdom teeth out. This is years ago. And my sister's got hers out on a Friday. Was absolutely miserable, bedridden. And I got mine out the following Monday. Felt absolutely fine. I felt better then than I do now or have ever since. And I was ready to go out that night.
I went to work actually later that night. Like 7 or 8 hours later, I went and worked for a few hours just to not fall too far behind with the snow coming.
Yeah, I felt fine. I was just I did not go out because I felt like it would have been rubbing into my sister's face had I done that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm glad we've covered a lot of dental procedures.
Yeah, important.
I really like. I remember as a kid loving ripping teeth out of my mouth.
Like
Loved it
when they were loose.
When they were loose and you could kind of like slowly work them out over the course of a few days.
There is like an odd, like I think a lot of people discover that they enjoy pain from like feeling like that kind of like stingy pain from your teeth falling out.
I loved it. I remember a sadness when my last baby tooth came out and I said, well, that's it. That's all. That type of fun is over in this lifetime. I've done it. It's over. Oh, what a treat it was. But I guess at some point I can just give up on my current teeth and start ripping those out. Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah.
We have an incredible guest tonight. He's appeared via Zoom a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Burke, host of this 60 Cycle Hum podcast, which is, yes, a guitar gear podcast. The challenge herein is I would happily talk only about guitar gear 24 hours a day. But the challenge is we're going to try to not do that because that's alienating.
Oh,
We'll do it. We'll talk about it. The
thinking,
number here, by the way, is 347-474-0260. That's 347-474-0260. We don't have it this week, but something happened with this YouTube channel of ours, of mine, or whatever that I've had since the dawn of time. Actually, that's not true. As with most things on the internet, my original YouTube channel got taken down.
Why?
Because
you're banned from multiple social media sites.
I'm literally the only left-wing progressive type liberal happy-go-lucky guy who seems to get banned from social media.
You have to get banned from Parler.
I've never even seen Parler, and I have no intention to ever look because I'm sure I'll be disgusted. But my first YouTube channel, it was a simpler time years ago, and I was doing quite well, just tearing up the tube. And I made a video where I think it's still on like Daily Motion or something. This video where, do you know the movie Holy Mountain by Jodorowsky?
Mm-mm.
If you don't know it, you should watch it tonight.
Yeah.
But I made this video with some friends where it was my birthday, and I'm about to blow out the candles. They're like, "No, you have to make a wish." And I thought about it, and then it cuts to this scene from Holy Mountain, and almost every scene in Holy Mountain is totally bizarre, in the best of ways. And it was a naked old man with cheetahs as his breasts, and they were spraying milk onto another guy who was kneeling in front of him, like covering him in milk. And so
what year is it approximately?
I think Holy Mountain, I think it was like 1971, 2, something.
Okay.
I think John Lennon and Yoko Ono paid for it.
Oh,
If I'm not mistaken.
I've heard of that then. Yeah. Okay.
But it's an amazing movie. I used to play bits of the soundtrack all the time on my WFMU show.
Maybe that's right then. Yeah.
But so I cut away to this scene as what I wanted for my birthday. As you can imagine, very strong video. It was flagged, and my channel was taken down. I had to rebuild a whole new YouTube channel. And then someone at YouTube wrote and said, "Hey, we really like your stuff. We want to help you build your channel." This was a simpler time, you know. And I said, "Well, you literally just canceled my channel last week, and this is my new channel." And they're like, "Oh, sorry about that." Anyway, hoping to get that story on the moth. My point is, this channel is not qualified for some cool thing. We'll be able to do super chats and stuff soon, but not yet.
Very soon.
Like next week or something.
Yeah.
Even though I don't fully understand what super chat is, but Chris is a young person and seems to.
Yeah, we can make money.
Sweet, sweet money.
Which, as a young person, I'm all about.
Oh, me too. I'm thinking of getting in on that money. I gotta get some money.
It's good. It's good to have.
Gotta get some money. Gotta get some money. I guess I know what it's like being retired from this past year.
Kind of, yeah. You get boxed out.
It's pretty great, actually.
It's not the worst.
I eat a lot of Nilla wafers.
What time is it? What time do you have to be like into something before like the day gets away from you and you get nothing done? What's your...
I'm pretty action packed. I'm like I usually get out of bed around like 7:30.
Whoa.
Turn on the coffee maker like some sort of guy who's starting a day.
Mm-hmm.
And
the coffee the night before?
Yes, it's ready to go. You hit the button, boom.
Professional move right there.
It's an advanced move. My concern is that when I head back to New York, and in New York, my routine is totally different. I only use the coffee maker on weekends usually. That's more of a weekend fun time thing.
You get up and go lifestyle in New York.
In New York, I go to the coffee shop and I chat with neighborhood folks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to the dog park. But here in this tiny Finnish fishing village, I turn on a coffee pot and then I go outside with the dog. What will it be when I go to New York? Will I start making coffee every day? I doubt it. Anyway, that's what I got.
Tracy Dunbar mentioned mini Nilla wafers are the best. And I have to agree. The mini ones are really good.
Yeah.
You know, normally I'm not into anything in miniature form because it ruins the ratio.
Yeah.
But I can get behind that.
Yeah. Frosted mini wheats. Speaking of mini things that are good. Frosted mini wheats are really good.
Mini marshmallows, very hot chocolate. Those are
mini marshmallows are good too.
Those the ratio works in your favor. Too many big marshmallows, you get sick real quick, but you can put the little ones away with it, without feeling that impact for a while.
But the thing about when they do like mini what's it called? Mini Chips Ahoy were mentioned, mini Oreos. Those are all bullshit. The ratio is off. The biggest is mini M&Ms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going too far. You're right. They got the snack size candy bars down pretty good though. Like the ratio of a little fun size Snickers is pretty solid. It's if you feel like you're getting just a mouth, a bite, and that's it.
Because they did the work.
Right.
They took the time. The mini Oreo people,
they just shrunk it down.
They were like, here, let's get out of here fast. What do? They kept the thickness of the cookie is the same. The thickness of the mystery white, let's just call it sugar jizz because that's what it is. Is the same, and then they've just made it small. It's horrible.
We lost Chris there.
I should have never said sugar jizz.
He crossed the line, I suppose.
I'm trying to keep this more of a family show, but what is it? I don't know. Did you know Oreos are vegan?
I probably have heard that somewhere before. Did you know the Hydrox predates the Oreo?
I mean, I would guess that it would because it's called Hydrox. Because why would anyone call a product that you want
no sense? Yeah,
someone to put in their mouth intentionally?
Chelsea Market. That's where Hydrox factory was. Like that whole building there.
Oh, really?
It's a cookie factory.
Who is thinking like what's a fun name for a cookie that children will love? Hydrox. It sounds like something that you would put in your mouth and leave in your mouth for like 20 minutes at a time in hopes of better oral hygiene. Which, to be fair, that cookie would probably do. Where did Chris go? Do you think when I said sugar jizz, he got...
That was it. Either that or fried a system. Maybe there was like a...
It wasn't a class move.
No. You want to take a quick phone call?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see if I can
see if you can
dig myself out of this hole I've created.
Hey, how are you fine folks holding up?
Is this Elvira Canaveral in Minneapolis?
Well, I have an immediate answer because I have researched the history of the Hydrox cookie. And the name it's short for hydrogen and oxygen, which the founder found as a pure treatment. So that's where Hydrox came from.
A pure treatment?
A pure treatment of what? Not of fun.
Yeah, it was because the idea of cleanliness was very much at the center of prepackaged foods at that time. Kind of like how White Castle was founded because it was so white, and the hamburger was viewed as a dirty food, but the White Castle was very clean, and they even used steam to cook the food.
That sounds about right. I could see that making sense.
Yep.
Interesting.
But I have a very important question for Dave Hill, and it's on a subject that we both appreciate and love, and that is the rock star autobiographies.
Oh, yes. Big fan.
And I got three here, so it's a holy trilogy, and I'm trying to figure out which one in 2021 I should read first, second, and third. And the first book is Tasteful Nudes by Mr. Dave Hill.
Well, I'm going to disqualify that.
Anymore.
What's that?
I have Parking the Moose.
Wait, you're saying you have all three of my books?
Nice.
Oh, you wrote these? Great.
Thank you, but none of those are rock autobiographies, though. Oh, there's a bit of rock in.
Sort of.
There's some rock in the first.
There's rock.
This is true, but I thought you were gonna say like I have the Lemmy autobiography. I have the whatever the Keith Richards autobiography,
I like
which is the best one of them all.
Book of Keith Richards, because Keith reads part of it, the narrator reads part of it, and then Johnny Depp does his part of it, and you don't know quite when is with who.
The Keith Richards autobiography is the best rock autobiography. I don't think any other one can come close.
The Filth, the Dirt, the Motley Crue.
Overrated.
Was a great one.
It was okay.
It's fun.
It was fine.
Yeah, just like them as a band, you know.
Ooh, not now. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I thought the Dirt was good, but I wasn't. I read just to show you how I read basically every rock autobiography. I read Nikki Sixx's The Heroin Diaries, and I thought that was better than The Dirt.
That was all about his recovery and everything. Didn't he make a band? He named like a record or something with this different band. He had a whole thing around that.
He might have. Not a completist.
Okay. My favorite rock writer is probably Genesis P. Orange.
Well, he's one. He
did a lot of writing in disinformation. And did a lot of work with Burroughs that I find interesting.
Genesis P. Orange was an amazing person. Psychic TV.
When I was in New York, in 2004, I was at a hole-in-the-wall CD shop in a little experimental section, and I saw a two CD set of Godstar there, the D Director's Cut, and I didn't even know it existed, and I was kind of surprised. I went to turn to the cashier to listen to it because, it might be 2 hours of just drills. But as I turned, I brushed the tits of Genesis P. Orange, and as if summoned there, and I just looked at them and said, what do you think? And they said, we're rather fond of it.
Nice. Well,
pay for it, and he disappeared like Batman.
I've heard many nice things about them. My friend Bob, we lived in the same apartment building with Genesis. Speaks very fondly.
Yeah. I had they became a model for me to also identify as non-binary as well. So, which is hence the Elvira Canaveral.
Yes, of course. Nice. Well, that's a great role model.
Okay, so which one should I read first?
Oh, well, you should read them in order. Read Tasteful Nudes first. Okay. That's what I would do.
All right, and I have a non-alienating question for your guest tonight on the subject of guitar gear.
We shall see. Well, speaking of which, let's.
What would be a good introductory guitar pedal and bass pedal for somebody who is just getting into it?
Okay, well, we'll ask him that momentarily, and because we're gonna bring him on now. Thank you so much, Elvira.
All right, you have a good one. And I've also been meditating a lot to Dio.
Meditating to Dio.
He almost lost a thumb to a garden gnome.
Can you turn the music down a little bit, Chris? I thought. Wait, Dio almost lost a thumb to a garden gnome?
Yeah, he was put in it was like a 60-pound statue garden gnome in his garden, and it was kind of on a slope. And then it slipped down. I even have a quote. I was in my yard trying to place this garden gnome on a slope, he explained. This is a seriously heavy piece of garden ornament, probably 60 pounds or so. Anyway, it fell into the shrubbery and then began to slide down towards the bottom of the hill. My hand landed on a rock, and then the gnome landed on it, squashing my thumb between the rock and the gnome. I just looked at my hand. My first thought that flashed in my mind was, how on earth am I going to make my devil horn signs now? That's my trademark.
Well, he prevailed.
There you go.
Got through it.
Dio.
Yep.
One of the greats. Well, thank you, Elvira.
Later.
We'll talk to you soon. All right. Later. Dio's one of the. I've met many a rocker, many a celebrity in my time, and I'd have to put Dio up there very high on the list as just a top-notch individual. Shea Bones, Hot Lunch Dude. There will be a new painted devil. We're gonna get working on that. I'm looking. John Von Procol asks, he asked earlier. Which are better, biographies or autobiographies when it comes to rock books? I think autobiographies are always better because you get it from the perspective of
the crazy person.
And they of the crazy person in some cases. Yes. And it's, though I will say I have read like Michael Azerrad's Our Band Could Be Your Life. I thought was great.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But usually, I like to hear it from the person.
The horse's mouth, so to speak.
I've read a few rock biographies in the last year.
Yeah, but even Our Band Can Be Your Life is like the oral history, so you're hearing it from the people who lived it.
This is true. Speaking of oral histories, we have coming up in a few weeks the authors of Nothing But a Good Time, which is all about the hair metal era.
That's fantastic. I'm excited
It's an incredible book. It's coming out in March. But we'll get to that later. Let's bring our guest on. He is Ryan Burke. He's co-host of the 60 Cycle Hum.
There it is.
Podcast, live cast. There he is. He walks among us.
Am I here?
Yes, you're there.
I'm here. I'm doing it.
Oh, look at that. Look at glorious.
Hey everyone.
Just pedals and guitars.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing it right.
It's a little embarrassing. Elvira, my answer is Big Muff for a pedal for guitar and bass. Go get a Big Muff.
There you go.
That is actually the perfect answer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know. Big Muff is the only. Well, I'm sure there's variations on the Big Muff.
Oh, yeah. There's like 3 different versions of it. Yeah.
I had a bass. They make a bass Big Muff too, don't they?
Yeah.
It's redundant though. That's a money grab, I think, because the regular Big Muff does the job.
I mean, if you really want to sound really good, skip the bass Big Muff, skip the guitar Big Muffs, go straight for the ukulele Big Muff. Then you're.
Oh yes.
Stay away from the keyboard Big Muffs. They're not as good, but the Ukulele Big Muff works.
Oh man.
I wish that was real.
There should be a ukulele Big Muff.
There should be a muff for every instrument, like
all
cello,
instruments.
Yeah, all instruments. There should be a microphone Big Muff for singing.
Yeah, I will say the only issue with the Big Muff I have is when you step on it, it makes a very audible like clinking sound.
Yeah.
Big hollow box. Yeah.
I've had so many Big Muffs, and I don't know where they go. Well, like they've just disappeared.
Yeah,
their time with you was up.
Like I've had
Dez has mine
ones.
right now. That's
what's
my
that?
channel. They just
the one I
circulate.
just showed is Chris's. I'm babysitting for him for right now.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a couple. I think I own 3 right now, but I'm only aware of where 2 of them are. Again, hoping to tell that story on the Moth. Let's focus. What are you drinking tonight there, Ryan?
I'm drinking Canadian whiskey from the country of Kirkland.
What?
It's Costco whiskey.
Costco. Oh, it's probably delicious though, isn't it?
It's really good. I like
They're
it.
in the whiskey business now. Wow. Good for them.
What's their beer brand? Don't they have a beer too?
I think it's just all Kirkland. Everything that
Kirkland.
made for them is just Kirkland.
Yeah.
But there's rumors that like if you get the whiskey, then it's made by so and so. If you get the tequila, it's made by so and so, and it's all it's all being bottled by people to make. Kirkland's not making anything. Costco's not making anything. They're just like, hey, what do you got extra? We'll put it in our own bottles.
They're farming it out.
Exactly.
I gotta say, you, Ryan, host of 60 Cycle Hum. You turned me on to Crown Royal Black.
Oh yeah, I need more of that.
I bought a bottle of that, and without going into detail, I don't want anyone to be able to, figure out how I made this happen. Basically I know someone who works or for the company that owns Crown Royal, and I said, hey, can you send me a case of that?
Nice.
And they said that's a bit of a top, but I thought door in the face technique, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Like go for a case, and then they'll scale back and they'll send you
2.
Like 2 of them, and you still got 2.
Still got 2.
Yeah.
So I said, can you send me a case of that immediately? And
I'm thirsty now. Send it right away.
I didn't expect even a response. And then I can't give away the details.
Right.
I don't want anyone to try this ruse. But they said, the way it works, we can't. I guess they just couldn't ship me a bunch of it across state lines.
Liquor business and such.
So they just said, do you know this store? They found this. I'm like, yeah, it's down the street. They said, go there. There's a package for you. And I thought, oh, that's nice. There's a bottle of Crown, and there was a big box, and I brought it home, and there's 4 big bottles of Crown Royal Black inside.
Nice.
Which I would argue should, at the pace that I drink it, will last me my lifetime.
It's good.
Or a few weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, a bottle of that. I would think I went through that bottle in like a week or something like that. And I don't usually drink that much, but it was just so good.
It's so tasty. It's tasty. I mean, I bought a bottle immediately after you recommended it, just based on your description. And I went through it pretty fast.
Now I'm just going to go to liquor stores and I'm going to be like, hey, is there a box here for me? Someone told me there was a box waiting for me just to see what happens.
Yeah, it could work. I mean, like there was when I remember as a kid, we used to go and just knock on people's doors and ask if they had cookies. Because what were they going to say? We were 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
That's a bold move.
Yeah, but it was a different time, but it worked. It worked a lot. It worked a lot because they'd be like, oh, these adorable boys just knocked on our doors and asked for cookies.
When I was like a late teen, like 18 or something like that, I was hanging out with a friend Halloween night, and we're too old to trick or treat. That's embarrassing, but we are bored out of our mind right now because you can't do anything when you're 18. Halloween. It's not like you can go to a bar and party or whatever. So
you're rendered powerless in both directions.
So we went around like 9:30, almost 10 o'clock at night, and did Halloween caroling. And like I had my acoustic guitar and going like door to door and like singing little songs, and people thought that was pretty great.
That is, what songs did you sing?
Like I don't
the Monsters
remember.
theme song?
No, I think we were just like riffing over like little chord progressions I knew or something like that. Like just improving Halloween songs that were nonsense. I don't remember. I was 18.
A couple spooky chords.
We need answers.
There you go.
2 decades ago on a Halloween night, and I caroled for Halloween candy.
What was the set list, man?
I wish I could remember. I wish my memory was that good.
Now, what we doing, dude, the listener will not, who hears the podcast version will not, you can't, but we'll paint a picture with words. You're in your garage, you have guitars everywhere, pedals everywhere.
Yeah.
I see a Telecaster, I see a Les Paul, I see a Flying V, I see a Strat, an SG, I see a Fender Starcaster, I see a Jazzmaster, I see a Vox. Is it a Batwing?
That's a Hallmark. It's very Vox. I'll grab it real quick.
He's got like 4 shelves of pedals, about a dozen on each.
This is a Hallmark Sweeptwing, and it is kind of Voxy, but it's based on a Mosrite style build.
Oh, is that like a Korean guitar?
It is made in Korea.
Is it like a more? It's not a vintage guitar.
No, it's a modern. It's based on a brand that was a 60s brand, and then a guy bought the name and redid them in the 90s and up till now.
Nice. How many guitars do you have?
Oh, I don't like to count. It makes me feel bad.
I'm the same way. I actually have no idea. I think it's around 20.
I think I'm over 30. I was over 40 for a bit, and I decided that was too many, and I'm trying to have a rule where I have less than 20 in this room. And I don't think I'm less than that right now, but I'm trying to get there. It was getting really bad. Like I didn't have enough stands to hold it all. They were just laying everywhere. And it's like, I have this anxiety of like, if I sell this thing, then I'll never have it again. So I would just keep all this stuff. And then I realized like every time I've ever sold something, I never miss it afterwards. So I've just been trying to unload things, like make space. Like I can't live in a guitar shop. That's stupid. Like I still have to live in a home, you know?
I think the word you're looking for is awesome.
Oh, it's so awesome.
So awesome. I think the rule is you can't, I only have one guitar in the living room at home because I think once you start like having guitars everywhere, like in the normal living spaces, then you've turned a corner into unhealthy living.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, my wife tries to be like, hey, honey, it's okay to you can hang some of those guitars here in the stairs or the hallway or here in the living room. We can use them as decorations. I was like, do not encourage this behavior. This is
unhealthy. You don't live at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Right.
No.
If I did, the food might be better. I mean, that's a diss on my own cooking. I'm the cook here.
Wait, so okay.
How does the Hard Rock Cafe get most of their stuff? Is this all donations, or do they go to auctions and
go on loan?
I think no. You can
they trade for food. Like the kitchens are coming through town, and they're like, "We're so hungry," and like, "Okay, we'll trade you a meal, and you got to wash dishes too."
They get like Cajun fries. Will get you like a Eric Clapton Strat.
Yeah.
No. I think the way they do it is actually they buy like, because I have a friend who was asking me recently what rock star friends, because as everyone know, I have many rock star friends. And he's like, can you ask any of them if they have any stuff they want to sell, and I'll get it. I'll sell it to the Hard Rock Cafe. So I think they do buy it.
Yeah.
It's like a museum almost in a way, and they can move it around to different locations.
Plus, like, you know, when you're like on your third Tangtini and you're staring up at like the bass player for Godsmack's bass or whatever, like, does it really matter?
Yeah, I think I saw like Papa Roach's like microphone that they used.
Oh my god, they got Papa Roach's mic. I'm not here taking shots at Papa Roach. I'm just saying.
I'm not either. It doesn't seem like it all belongs in the same.
Plus, like, with gear, like I was, and this is a true show business story. I was in the apartment of Michael Jackson's manager, one of his many managers. I can't remember why I was there, but he had all these signed guitars all over his house. And they were signed by, you know, massive, like Eric Clapton type people. But they weren't, they were like Squires and stuff.
Right. They're like carnival guitars.
Yeah. And it was just like this, it was so carnival guitars, you call them?
Yeah. Well, we have like a county fair here, and every time, like a big band plays, like they get them to sign a bunch of guitars and they like try to auction them off.
Squires.
And like, yeah, they're always like cheap guitars. And then they always find their way onto like the local Craigslist thing. And there's always someone trying to sell, like $100 guitar for like $9,000.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Stevie Nicks signed this. Like Stevie Nicks doesn't even play guitar. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that
maybe she does. I don't know. I just
no, it just it's just such like an
yeah.
It just, and then like, and I felt so bad because the guy, I guess they meant a lot to him, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But to me, it was driving me bonkers that he didn't have like guitars on the level of the players that had signed them.
Right. Well, like, I mean, when in your mind you think like, oh, this guitar was signed by this famous person that I love. But it kind of takes a lot away from it when it's like, oh, this isn't a guitar they actually played. This is just a guitar that like a disc jockey handed them. Like, hey, sign a couple of these. Yeah. It's not like it's not the guitar that they played on stage or anything like that. Even once, it's just like, here, sign this thing. Might as well have been an album. It would have been cooler if it was an album, probably.
Yep. Man, oh man. Well, we pretty much torn Hard Rock Cafe a new one. I feel like.
They're never going to recover from this.
They're never going to recover.
I played a show at a Hard Rock Cafe once. They're not, the ones around here typically aren't venues, but they built like this makeshift stage on top of the booths. So they had the stage on top of the booths, and like the ceiling was like right above my head as I was playing. And I did the whole thing where like, there was the row of guitars, the signed guitars and whatever, hanging behind me, and I did the thing where I like and I plugged into one of them, and I strummed the guitar up there, and I thought I was so cool, and I told that story to like a bunch of other local like band guys, and they're like, okay, we've all done that there, like everyone does that every time they play that show. Okay, now I don't feel cool anymore.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you were like immediately escorted out.
Shut down.
No.
Asked to leave.
Sir, you must leave. I forget whose guitar it was. It was some like hair metal guy's guitar that was signed. Like I want to say Winger, but I'm sure it wasn't Winger. It was
you mean Reb Beach?
Reb Beach.
Who did you also say Reb Beach, Des?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay, good. I was just checking. I have a form of autism where I can spit out the name of any hair metal guitar player from any band. It's I have no control over it.
When did you get diagnosed with that?
1987.
But everyone was naming hair metal guitarists in 87, so it must have seemed kind of normal.
This is true. No, I can't. No, it's a pretty. I'm pretty good at it. But then it's one of those things. I'll say I'm good at it, and then you'll probably stump me the first one.
I'm terrible at knowing musicians. Like I care all about just the intricacies of the gear and stuff like that. Like I don't know the names of musicians and bands that I adore. Like, I don't know the name of the guitarist in that. I just know the name of like the songs and stuff. Like I've nerded out in that direction.
I don't know the names of any songs of a lot of bands that I really like.
More of the newer stuff you listen to now too. Not that because it's new music, but just the way you're kind of taking it in.
Right. You're not like looking at the back of the CD.
Spending time with it. Yeah.
I used to know every band ever. Like there was a time, and I don't know when the shift. I guess when I got older. Not that I'm old.
Older.
But there was a time when if I would turn on the TV and there would be a band playing, and I did not know exactly who it was because they were a Christian rock group. And that was the only reason I didn't know, because they existed in another orbit that I was not my orbit.
Christian rock. That's a whole thing.
Wait, we have some amazing comments. Well, Blue Saraceno wasn't poisoned for like a week. That's accurate.
Wasn't Richie Kotzen in poison for a minute too?
Yeah, but then he porked Ricky Rocket's girlfriend.
Right, out. Yeah. Chased him off the gig.
Jilly Fitz says the best time of my life was hanging out with the roadies from Night Ranger.
A lot of people are bringing up Stryper too.
That's a humble brag right there.
Stryper. That's I thought that would probably be pretty fun. She says that they hoovered so much schneef. Does anyone say that outside of schneef? Is that only from Letterkenny? Or do people say that elsewhere?
This is the first time I've heard it outside of Letterkenny.
Schneef.
Yeah.
It out.
I'm glad a Letterkenny reference has been made.
Sarah Stewart is a Christian rock expert. We should have her call in.
There you go.
Gorky Park and their awesome. Oh, it always. I feel like a divining rod is not the right thing, but somehow it always comes back to the Gorky Park Kramer guitar.
Going on it.
Are you certainly we've discussed this with you, haven't we, Ryan?
I don't remember, but I will say that I don't consider a pawn shop to be a real pawn shop unless it has one. Like every other pawn shop I've ever been in has the Gorky Park hanging behind the counter.
It's an amazing one of these days. I'm just going to quit messing around and just get one.
Yeah.
And then also, this has been my dream in life, and there's still time to realize this dream. But I feel like a real great use, if I ever become extremely wealthy, and it's fine if I don't, but the only reason I have any desire to be extremely wealthy is just for the opportunity to play jokes with money. Like it would just enable you to just do dumb stuff that would be funny. Yeah. Like there was a Dean guitar some years ago that was the Schenker brothers, Michael and Rudolph, who anyone will tell you do not get along. But I guess at some point in history, they got along well enough to sign off on a guitar with both of their faces, a flying V. And it was like all drawings of them and Schenker. What would it be? Schenkerabilia? Schenkerphilia? All matters Schenker.
Schenker-centric?
It was just Schenker-centric flying V. And And I thought, if I could just buy this guitar and send it to a friend of mine with no explanation, that would be really a great use of my money.
A gag that I'd like to do if I was in this scenario where I had just unlimited amount of money is that PRS guitars will basically custom shop whatever you request if you have enough money to throw at them. And they make all these things with like really odd carvings. Like people like get these PRSs that have like owls and tigers and stuff carved into them. And they always look a little bit funky. And then they make them like, oh, here's the press release for this funky carved guitar. So I'd like throw like 50 grand at PRS and be like, make me like a Home Alone 3 themed. and then I would do like the whole press release and I wouldn't have my name on it at all. I wouldn't be associated at all. I'd just be like, look, why did they make this? What are they doing over there? Why Home Alone 3 now on it? Like, this is an expensive guitar. What are they doing? So that's like the prank that I would do with money.
And then you put it on reverb. And you have when reverb does the I hope we're not just too inside baseball with all this lingo.
Reverb is eBay. No, reverb is like it is. Yeah, it's eBay for guitarists for everyone who doesn't know.
So
the viewership numbers are holding too, Dave, by the way.
I know, but I've been watching the viewership numbers very closely because I'm just really concerned at how alienating some of the things I'm saying must be. But if you did the Home Alone 3 PRS guitar and then in that little box where it says like what that guitar, as if there's more than one, they're like actually kind of goes between 37,000 and 48,000. 50 is a little high.
It really depends on the quality of the wood that got selected for each one. You know, we've got 10 tops here and we've got 9 tops. You have to figure out which one you want. You know, they're all appraised a little different. You know, the quality of the etching and the carvings and stuff like that.
Supposedly, Vincent Gallo collects.
Oh no.
He collects
corpses.
No, like Travis Bean guitars, like original.
Yeah,
super expensive ones. And he had one on reverb. And the guy from Electrical Guitar Company basically said like, yeah, that's who this is. And the guitar was going for like $200,000 or something stupid. And but it didn't include free shipping.
It shows up without a case. It's just like wrapped in.
So I wrote him and I said, I'm very interested. Would you consider doing free shipping on this? Didn't hear back.
It's the shipping is really the issue.
Can you please knock $75 off this $200,000 guitar? But it's not up there anymore.
That would drive me insane. I get a little nervous anytime I ship anything. Imagine shipping something $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
Like just how anxious you would feel. And then charging only $75 for the shipping. That's normal shipping for a guitar. That's not like, you know, some sort of extravagant, make sure it definitely gets their shipping. That's just normal shipping.
Yeah. That's just popping it in the mail.
Imagine that getting lost in the mail. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Mike Johnson in the chat raises a good point. Adam Jones, the guitar player from Tool, they came out with a bunch of his signature model, and then someone like they broke into the truck or hijacked the truck or something that had all the guitars.
Like a regular old heist, like an Ocean's routine thing.
That's amazing.
They stole I'm assuming they stole the whole truck because it would take too long to unload a truck into another truck to steal all those guitars. So I'm assuming
just a factory loaded truck of guitars, not like his touring rig. You mean?
No. It's like Gibson made a signature model. I'm sure. What were they going for? Like $6,000 each or something?
Oh yeah, something like that. And they had They had a truck full of them, and someone intercepted the truck and stole the truck on its delivery. And it was all just those guitars. Like that's what the truck was full of.
How could you sell them? Like, where would you sell? You just have to find bad. Can you keep a secret?
Yeah, you got to go on the dark web, Craigslist.
It's all just dark web Tool fans.
Yeah, that's the trick. Like anytime you hear about some famous person's guitar that went missing or got stolen or something like that, you know, the moment the person figured out what they stole, they're like, well, shoot, now I can't sell it.
Yeah.
What do I do with this thing? Because the moment I sell it, then I'm busted. Someone's going to track me down. That's why I always say, if you're going to steal, you know, pedals, because no one knows.
Yeah, steal pedals.
Like, you know, just steal pedals, guys.
There's Sonic Youth had their entire tour bus stolen, I think, at some point.
It happens too much. Like like bands on tour, like half the time I hear their stuff gets nabbed. Like you got to have someone out by the van, out by the trailer the whole time you're playing a gig, which is a bummer. It's a bummer to have someone on the road with you. And it's like, your job is to stay outside and just watch the trailer. That's not fun.
That's not rock and roll. That's not good times.
Yeah. You're just a babysitter for an automotive thing.
Yeah, that's a super. I've had guitars stolen.
The worst.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's a bummer, bro.
I've never had a guitar stolen, but in my band it's not active anymore. I've got this band called Dinosaur Ghost, and we wear these skulls. We wear dinosaur skulls on our head. And
like it already.
Yeah. I made the skulls, and it was this whole like crafting thing that I did. And on one of the shows at the end of the set, I grabbed the skull and I threw it up in the air, and I turned around and I started packing stuff up. And then I turned around to grab the skulls and pack them up in the boxes, and my skull is gone. My skull is missing.
Ooh.
And I had a GoPro running on the set the whole time, and I couldn't find it. Like, someone stole this. I go home and I check the GoPro, and it's like the moment I threw it in the air and it fell on the ground, I turned around, someone ran forward, grabbed it, and I have a shot of them running out the door with it. It's like, congratulations, you stole the thing for a band that no one is ever going to care about. And it's probably in the trash somewhere now.
They saw an opening and they took it, though.
No, I mean, it was made out of like chicken wire and toilet paper and duct tape wrapped around it. And I'm a little, you know, I'm complimented that they wanted it so bad, but I kind of wish I had that first one that I made too.
Could still be in their home today.
It hung up
They're wearing it right now, masturbating furiously.
Oh man, yeah. That sounds. I hope that's what's happening.
That's the hope.
I hope it's their masturbation hat for sure. I mean, you guys wear hats when you masturbate, right?
Yeah. I mean, any intimacy, I need a hat.
Yeah.
A personal or group, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pedals. And I'm watching these numbers so closely.
Here we go. Dive.
Pedals theft, I think, I remember being as a pretty young thing playing shows in New York City, like at CBGB's, and people would just occasionally, sometimes someone would just grab a pedal and run out with it. And I've never had that happen to me, but I've had it happen to bandmates. And to this day, the first thing I do when I'm done just rocking people just out of their minds is I just yank all my pedals back. So that's not going to happen. So now I've told my secret. Now someone's like, okay, just be ready to reach about 1.5 feet further to grab Dave's pedals.
Now everyone puts solar pedals on, you know, pedal boards with heavy Velcro and stuff like that. But back in the day, we would just string them together and they'd just be floating around the stage, and it'd be easier. Like now, if you want to steal a pedal off a pedal board, you've got to have like a spatula and like you kind of work on it for a while to get it
to really want it.
Yeah,
not mine, because I'm too lazy. Like I spend all this time putting together like the perfect pedal board, and I'm like, I've done it. And then when it comes time to do the show, I'm like, I don't want all these. I just want this, this, and this.
Right,
And I just rip them off and I drag them down.
We've lost one. It went from 42 to 41. That's what happens when you talk pedal.
That's right. That's within.
And this will keep me up all night.
Where did they go? They heard us talking about pedals and they got out of here. There's pedal talk in the chat. I think people
pedal crime really is what we're talking.
Yeah. It's pedal crime is the problem.
Pedal crime.
Yeah.
Pedal talk. Yeah, insuring it a 1 and a 2 raises a good point. You got to insure it.
Insure your pedals. Yeah. We had an issue with one of my old bands where after a set, someone came up to us and was accusing us of stealing their tuner pedal. Like, that's my tuner pedal. No, this is our tuner pedal. You lost your tuner pedal if you can't find it, or someone else stole it, because this is ours. And like, it was back when we were just running just tuners, no pedal boards. And after that moment, this person just being very angry and very upset with us, thinking that we stole their tuner pedal. Like, the rest of the guys in the band, we all like started engraving all our stuff, like scratching our names into pedals and stuff like that.
Yeah. Never again.
Never again will someone accuse me of stealing their tuner pedal.
I always can identify my stuff because it's always broken. Like something stupid has happened. I've done, damaged it in some way.
Yeah, I think I think the tuner was too new was the problem. The person saw it was like, that's a new tuner. Like,
that's a sassy new tuner.
Yeah, I need that sassy new tuner.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. I'm surprised we haven't lost more viewers.
We're holding strong. I mean, there could be any explanation for any viewers that we have lost. The number, by the way, is 347-474-0260.
Introducing Philips OmniWire pressure guide wire.
Sorry.
The world's first solid.
What?
I was trying to cue a video up and it just started playing an ad.
It went wrong.
Well, we gained a viewer, so it worked.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I wanted to hear about that thing. It's some sort of Philips thing. It sounds exciting. It
sounded promising.
Yeah.
Now, all that gear. Is this all gear that you use regularly behind you, or you demo it? What's that?
I mean, before COVID and all that, I had a band and I would play weekly at my church and stuff like that. So I would put a lot of it to use fairly regularly, but now it's just like, it just sits here in the garage, and if I use it in a video, then I use it, and it feels like a lot. I'll say that. It feels like too much stuff to have for what I'm actually doing around here.
No, that's where you're wrong.
It is nice to have variety, to be like, oh, here's my Les Paul, here's my SG, here's my Telecaster, here's blah blah blah, and have one of every variety of thing. But it becomes a lot. Like it becomes tricky when it's like you pick up a guitar, like, well, I haven't played this since the last time I restrung it, and the strings are rusty.
Yeah,
because it's been 4 months and it's just been hanging on the wall.
Hanging there.
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's where I started playing guitar in church, and that's how I got good at guitar, was playing when I was like 13. It was I got really well. I got really good at chords because all the songs in church were so simple. This is the thing. I can only speak for the Catholic Church, but my theory on the Catholic Church songbook is that there was so little competition for church hymns that all these priests just slid all these clunkers in.
Yeah.
Once in a while you get an Eagle's Wings, whatever, a real hit on your hands. But then the rest were like really simple, like 3-chord things. And there's almost never like a hook, but it made me like be able to practice different chord forms, because I was like, I only have 3 chords in this song.
Yeah, totally.
and I'm playing with a nun who's playing a nylon string guitar that's just like blah, 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 like, and so I was just working on all these chord variations, and it was actually like an amazing way to get good at guitar, because it's simple. It gave me all this wiggle room to try things out.
Yeah. There's something about church music where it's like, it's built for like, the person that wrote the music is like, we don't know who's going to be at this church if they have, any musical training at all. Let's make the simplest songs that we can that people can sing along to. And that, most people who play guitar or any instrument will have no problem tackling. And so it's kind of like this sort of balance where it's like, these are super simple songs, but then that's also the critique. Like people look from the outside in like, oh, this is your music. Why is this so simplistic? It's like, well, it kind of has to be. It's like a utilitarian thing.
It does.
Because you got some church in the middle of nowhere that's got like 20 people going to it. And there's only one person who plays guitar. It's like, you can't overwhelm them with, a bunch of jazz chords or something.
Yeah. But then as a kid, I would always think, like, oh man, if you just had a stone cold jam that was just such an earworm, I bet we could pack another 20 people in here.
You really hear that collection plate tinging in the back, like, oh yeah, they're loving it. People come back for seconds of communion. Yeah, it worked.
That's the stuff. That's it.
Yeah, I grew up in, and I'm still in, like Southern California style, like Jesus freak kind of style churches. And the music is very kind of like more rock and roll centered, and basically like U2 cover bands for like the extent of it. Like it's a lot of fun. I'll say that as an adult who's still doing it, I do it because it's fun. It's like every week when I get to go play at church, it's like, oh, I have a gig where I get to go have fun and play around with my gear every week. And and eat donuts in between,
I saw you have a whole specific pedal board for church, like a whole church board, right? You have a video, or do you?
Oh yeah. Well, it's my main like gigging board, and I swap stuff in and out. But it's like most of the stuff stays on there for church when I play at church. It's a lot of drives and delay pedals and reverbs and stuff.
Know the crowd, know the audience.
Yeah.
That's my problem, is playing in different bands. I have 4 different, and now I could not possibly be watching the numbers more closely than I am right now.
We're still at 42. It's incredibly stable.
It's amazing.
43. We did it. We broke the barrier.
This is huge. But I have a different board for each band. 2 of the bands, the board's very similar. Valley Lodge and Painted Doll, the boards are pretty similar. Witch Taint, totally different board. And then my comedy show board is totally different from all of them, because that's when you can break out.
Yeah.
The Rainbow Machine.
Yes, that's a funny pedal. There you go.
The Rainbow Machine is, that pedal, right?
Oh yeah, it's infinite.
Earthquaker Devices.
Yeah.
I always joke around that it's not the most practical pedal.
Yeah, it's pretty far down the list of practical pedals.
But it never gets a very big laugh when I say that around when I visit the factory.
They sell a lot of those.
Oh, they're cool. I have one. They're great.
Yeah. To anyone who's not familiar with what this pedal is, it basically makes your guitar sound like a unicorn is sick to its stomach and just puking and pissing and pooping everywhere. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but yeah, no, and you can, it's actually a very nice chorus pedal if you set it a certain way. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
But it's like in a pinch, you could basically take all its thunder out and just have a nice chorus pedal. And with that sentence, which you would think would be the most alienating sentence I've said all night, we're at our top numbers.
Yeah.
45. We made it.
This is amazing. This is it.
You.
I think, I mean, because I remember back on the WFMU show, a friend had stopped by to see the studio, and we got into some pedal talk, and she just got up and kind of like waved, like, I'm out of here. I can't be around this any longer.
That's one person.
It's just one person, but it made me think like, this is a dangerous area, but you're, as you say, it is one person.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, oh, well, I actually, because I did the live 60 cycle hum show a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was bragging about having the Astral Destiny Earthquaker Devices pedal. And I still do, but I have no update. I just
it's still there.
I was just looking to see like what up-to-date pedal do I have, and I'm like, oh, that's the most up to date. I did a demo.
I've got this one here if you want to see a look at this. It's a big boy.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
This is a spring reverb, but it's unlike any other spring reverb out there.
Spotlight you so we can see it bigger.
It's the Game Changer light pedal. I'm gonna film this tomorrow probably. It's got a real spring inside of it, and
wow,
it uses like lights and optical sensors to detect the motion of the spring to produce its sound. It's a totally like different style pedal, and it's a trip. So that's what's sitting next to me right now.
Now, this is a dangerous question because this could very well threaten your livelihood depending on how you answer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it could threaten my ability to have people give me pedals, which I'm a big fan of.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if anyone's listening and wants to give me pedals, guitars, or alcohol in any form, those are the big three for me that I like to receive. And then, but do you find you get like that pedal that you just showed that looks super cool pedal, game changer.
Yeah.
You get it, you mess around with it, you'd be like, this is a game changer. These guys have really outdone themselves. Everyone's going to be chasing after these guys.
Yeah.
And then you unplug it and you set it down and you never touch it again.
that is like the constant struggle because I get, this is my job. I'm an influencer.
You're an yes.
Which is an odd thing to say. But it's my job to constantly be covering the new stuff as it comes out. And there's just not opportunity for me to use it all. And it makes me feel guilty. Like, oh, I never played a show with this pedal and now I'm going to like sell it or something like that. Or I never tried it with a band and now, just sits on a shelf. But yeah, it's my job to just demonstrate what they can do and let the audience.
Yeah, let them decide
if they need it. No one should live the way I'm living with dozens of guitars and hundreds of pedals. Like that's unhealthy. Like everyone should have a normal amount of guitars and normal amount of pedals, and they should only buy things that they really truly think that they'll use. And it's just my job to demonstrate them for them.
But that's counterintuitive to anyone who plays guitar.
No, we all want just piles and piles and piles of stuff. We want everything.
I keep going back and forth because I go through these, and I think self-loathing is really at the core of it. But as a kid, I always thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a ton of guitars? You have so many guitars that you would forget about guitars that you even had, and then you would reach into a closet and be like, oh yeah, this thing. And now that is my reality.
Right.
And it has not made me happy.
No.
It has not brought the happiness I thought it would. Instead, I think, what a shame. Someone should be playing this.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely more guitars in the world than there are people playing guitars, is my theory right now. Like Like every guitarist that I know has like, you know, a small pile of guitars, even if it's only like 3 or 4 or something like that. I'm sure there's, you know, people who think 3 or 4 sounds like a lot. But I think there's more guitars than there are guitarists. And I'm always wondering, like, when are people just going to stop buying them? Because there's already enough. Like, they don't go bad. Guitars don't go bad. You can just keep playing them for
exact
decades,
opposite.
and decades. They get better. And it's like one day, is the industry just going to crumble because like we don't need to make any more guitars? Like all the Earth's natural resources have been converted into guitars, and there's no reason to build any more. You know,
I mean, that would actually be the right thing to do. Just be like, you know what, we've done it. We do have a few guitars with robot tuners left if anyone wants those. Other than that,
yeah,
like there's that. Yeah, it's I don't know what the answer is. But I sold a guitar a couple weeks ago to someone. I sold it to them because I knew that they really liked it. And I knew it would have a good home and a nice life. And I would not have sold it to anyone else.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this guitar is going to go forward and rock way more with this guy than if it stays with me. And I felt really good about it.
It feels good to give them away. I've given away a few, and it feels good every time. And then I never feel like, oh, I missed that guitar. I'm like, it's somewhere else now. Someone is playing it, or they've passed it on, or they sold it. I don't know. They're doing something with it. And I'm glad it's out there living its life.
I sold this one. Let me be clear.
Sure.
And I did give a guitar to a friend because he just wanted to borrow a guitar, and it's ridiculous to me to say that I don't have a guitar for someone to borrow because I have too many. So I said, sure, I'd take this one. And then he moved, and I noticed the guitar did not come back. I was like, so you clearly were conscious. You moved across the country with this guitar. And I said, hey, if you're playing this, by all means, hang on to it. But if not, I might say give it back.
That's how I lost my green screen and lighting kit.
Oh no!
I have a hard
one, and then they moved.
I have a hard rule that I don't loan anything to musicians if I ever need to have it back. I'm like, a loan is usually going to turn into just like, oh, it's theirs now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've accepted I'm never going to see this guitar again because this was via text, and it was only because I was having this just one day where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of all the guitars I don't really have a purpose for. So I was like, if this guy's using it, it has a purpose. If he's not, I'm taking it back and I'm gonna sell it. And then so I texted him that, and he just texted back a frown face, which didn't really answer my question. And I just didn't pursue it. I was like, all right, whatever is happening, this guitar is yours now. I don't care. She just didn't want to deal with it.
I commonly have the thought, like, what's going to happen someday if I like die unexpectedly and there's just all this stuff left behind for like my family to figure out what to do with. And it's like if, you know, I'll go and I'll sell like, you know, a dozen pedals at a time to make room or whatever. And it takes me, you know, weeks to deal with everything to sell them. Like, what's going to happen if I'm dead someday? And my wife is like, what do I do with all these pedals? What do I do with all these guitars? It's like, technically she could probably pay the bills for a year by selling them, but then like she's going to have to become like a professional eBayer or something like that.
Well, yeah. Like, what if she like, I envision, because I'm a childless man and I don't anticipate that'll change, that as I get into the winter of my life, I will start getting rid of guitars because I won't trust my nieces and nephews to handle them. Because they'll be like, what is this gold top Les Paul? I don't know. Give me $300 for it. Like,
exactly.
I don't want that to happen. I would rather just get, the money now.
Yeah. Hopefully my wife just like takes them to an auction house or something like that and has the sense to like alert the community like, hey, all Ryan's stuff is going up for auction or something.
Would it be helpful to you if I offered my services just as like an executor?
Sure. Yeah. What I should probably, if I ever am looking down, the barrel of death's door, I'll probably start like contacting people and making promises like, hey, this is yours now, come get it. And then I'll tell my wife, no, don't give it to them. Cause drama after I'm dead.
If you get, you can't. That's like, I even had a thought. I was going to, one of my relatives, like niece or nephew, wanted to play the electric guitar. And I was like, I'll be a cool uncle. I'm going to give them a really good guitar. But then I said, no, that's really dumb because they're probably going to just throw it in the closet and not do anything. And then, so my brother bought them like a, really cheap guitar. And that's what they did. They played it for like a week.
Yeah. Every time I've like encountered someone who's starting, a thing that I do for fun, whether it be, guitar or something else, and I've had the instinct of like, oh, wait, let me get the thing for you. Let me help hook you up, whatever. The handful of times I've done it, it's always been a big disappointment. Like, oh, they didn't actually fall in love with it the way that I'm in love with it. And, I went to all this trouble to like get them a thing. And now I know that they're not using it. I surf. And, when I was younger, there was this girl I liked and she had vague interest in like, oh, I want to try surfing. And so I went and bought like this $400 surfboard and I gifted it to her. And of course things didn't work out, but for the rest of my life, I'm like, man, that was a nice surfboard. I should have kept it.
Oh man.
Why did I do that? Why was I so crazy to do that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens to me. Well, I guess it's not the same thing, but people always like, hey, you want to go to whatever store and help me pick out a guitar? I want to play the guitar, or my kid wants to play the guitar. And I'm always like, all right, you're gonna need $5,000. And then eventually I'm like, all right, just get this $200.
I mean, the reality is like people have to fall in love with any of these sorts of things to actually want to do it. And like loading a bunch of nice gear on someone when they're about to start, like, isn't going to make them fall in love with it.
No,
like, they need to go through the experience everyone else went through. Like, go find the cheapest, crappiest acoustic that's available and you fall in love with it, even though it sucks. And then
and it's hurting you.
Exactly.
Hurting your hands.
You work up from there and then you discover what good is. You need to know what bad is before you discover what good is,
This is true. This is the lesson we've learned tonight.
Yeah, this is the whole reason we're doing this, to find this nugget of truth.
And it's amazing. Wow. We have 1 minute left and we've really held on.
It was at 50 for a couple minutes.
It was feeling good. It felt like
over the top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did it. Ryan, thank you so much. Where can I know where everyone can find you, but you tell everyone where they
search for 60 Cycle Hum on YouTube to watch my videos. We also publish the podcast there. We're also on every podcast feed thing for the audio podcast, and we're on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So everywhere you look for things, we're there, because that's what it takes to be in business these days.
That's right.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you. And
thanks for having me. This is always fun,
Yeah.
Please come back and we'll pedal it up some more. Even though I realize I'm simplifying it. That's just a vernacular we've started, pedal talk.
I like it.
Even though we didn't even talk about amps.
Oh, I wanted to talk about, and no, I didn't want to talk about it.
Next time.
Next time, all amp talk the whole time.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in live. Thanks for everyone listening in the futuristic podcast format. Thank you to Boy Criminal Chris Gersbeck. Thank you, New Jersey Chicken Rancher Dez.
You got it.
Thanks again to Ryan Burke from 60 Cycle Hum. I'm Dave Hill from before. If you would like to support this program, go to MaximumFun.org/join. And they'll tell you all fun ways you can support the network and this show and whatnot. I like that jaunty music. Feels good. All right, let's ride off into the sunset.